Well, welcome to our Park City Market Talk webinar. I'm Ron Wilstein, a broker at Keller Williams Luxury Properties in Park City, Utah.
And I'm Doug Olmstead, the seller's consultant here on the Wilstein team at Keller Williams. Thank you so much for joining us today.
All right, it's July 2017, and we just celebrated the 4th of July. As always, had wonderful fireworks and parades, and it was much cooler than it was in Salt Lake, so it was a good time. Kimball Arts Festival is coming up here shortly on Main Street, August 4th through 6th, and you'll want to catch that. By the way, if you're a local here and you're not aware, if you go on Friday night, the first night, locals get in free, and if you're not a local, you don't get in free, but there's less people there, so you might want to do that. And that's usually starts either 5 or 6 o'clock. We'd have to check the website on that.
Gotta love the vibe in Park City in the summer. There's so much going on. Deer Valley, Park City Resorts are both open for summer activities. Come out. We'll talk more about that.
And this is the time of the year we usually hear about the best mountain towns in America, and we're happy to report to you that Park City was voted America's favorite mountain town. Not the first time, because people have recognized this in the past, but this was from Travel and Leisure magazine, so we're going to give you a bit more the details as to why they think we're the favorite mountain town in the country.
And the reason we're all here to talk about the Park City real estate market update and what's going on with prices. We'll be happy to walk you through that as well.
And then there's definitely a change here in Park City. Park City has gone electric in a big way, electric in terms of buses and bicycles. You may have seen, if you've been in town, the large electric Xpress buses, emissions-free, driving from Main Street all the way to Kimball Junction. This is the first free battery electric express bus route in the country, and it's in our hometown, Park City.
And it's official. Park City has the nation's first fully electric bike share program. We're going to tell you lots more about that.
All right, so a lot to cover. Let's take a look at the fact that Travel and Leisure magazine voted Park City America's favorite mountain town. They identified in their article 4 main reasons. It's accessible, it's the outdoorsman paradise, their term, it's historic, and its summers are incredible. So we're going to share with you some of those details now.
So definitely accessible. Unlike major cities, you can easily get to the mountains and enjoy clean air, fresh water, beautiful nature and wildlife. Just 25 miles, 30 minutes or less from Salt Lake City, with the temperatures an average of 10 to 15 degrees cooler than down in the city. Fresh break from the summer heat for sure.
Yes, I was down there yesterday. It was 95 degrees. Came up to Park City, just a little bit under 80. So
Beautiful.
Big difference. We like that, and it was easy to get up and down the canyon. And then there's this expression, it's the outdoorsman's paradise. What did they have in mind there? Just the fact that Park City has so much to offer. Mountain biking is one of the high points with over 400 miles of trails, and recognized as one of the first gold level mountain bike destinations by the International Mountain Biking Association. And you can hop on the lifts either at Park City or Deer Valley and head up the mountain, and that way you don't have to crawl your way up on it. But if you're diehard, you're going to want to do that, and you can do that as well. Then of course there's hiking in the mountains, there's fly fishing in the nearby Provo, Green, and Middle Weber rivers. That's just a short distance away. Not to mention, of course, our many golf courses in Park City, and during the winter, our world-class ski and snowboard resorts. And then, if you haven't been to Park City during the summer, there's the alpine coasters and the zip lines, and at the Utah Olympic Park, they do a lot of fun things in the summer as well as in the winter. So I guess that's outdoorsman paradise.
I suppose so. We'd have to. Park City is very historic. After all that action, nothing is more satisfying than Park City's historic Main Street, with tons of fine dining, art galleries, one-of-a-kind shops that just draws visitors from all over the world.
And the summers are incredible here. I remember contemplating moving here 29 years ago. And I talked to people, and they said, you know, the winters are great and we love to ski, but the summers are why the locals stay. And I can testify after 29 years, it's really true. Park City is goes into a 3-month-long celebration during the summer of live musical festivals and food and wine classics, parades. The annual Kimball Arts Center that we mentioned to you is coming around the corner in August. The Utah Symphony, along with other musical guests, have numerous concerts during the summer. Many of them are hosted at the Snow Park Amphitheater at Lower Deer Valley and other locations around Park City. There's just so much to do, and I guess that's what makes you America's favorite mountain town. And if you want to take advantage of those and want to know everything that's going on during the summer, visit BuyParkCity.com and you will be able to find out. With that in mind, let's turn our attention to real estate, give you an update as to what's happening here. Over the past 12 months, there's been 1,346 sales in Park City. This consists of homes, condominiums, and vacant land combined. This is all real estate brokerages combined, and it is 8 more sales than a year ago, up 1%.
So we went ahead and broke this down to you on this graph. The red bars are July 2016 to June 2017. The silver bars are the year previous to that. Home sales were up 7% from 498 sales up to 531 sales. Condominiums slightly down 3% from 660 sales to 640, and lot sales down 3% from 180 to 175 sales.
Now this graph here breaks it into two categories: Park City city limits and the Snyderville Basin, the county area of Park City. You can see that when it comes to home sales, so it's pretty level. It's 1% increase, but really just one more sale from 158 the year before to 159. We see a larger increase, 9% in the Snyderville Basin, with 32 additional sales climbing from 340 all the way to 372 home sales.
And if we look at condominiums, in Park City limits up 16%. It's a massive number, from 287 sales to 333 sales.
Mm-hmm.
And out in Snyderville Basin, down 18% from 373 sales to 307 sales.
And you may be wondering about that drop there. You may recall, if you've been following our webinars for the years, we've been doing them for many, many years. Last year we were commenting about how many condominiums in the Snyderville Basin were selling. So there were really a lot. So on the one hand, it's a significant decrease year over year, but it's probably more in line historically with the number of sales we see in the Snyderville Basin. Turning our attention to vacant land sales in the city limits, where there simply is not a lot of lots for sale, dropped from 25 the year before to 18. That's just not too many sales. And about even in the Snyderville Basin, 155 climbed 2 additional sales this past year to 157. Now what we like to report on is the average time it takes for properties to sell. And the reason why, it's an indicator of how well people are pricing their properties and how quickly buyers are taking advantage of it. The fact that over the last year, the average time homes or condos have been on the market, this is homes, is 96 days compared to 102. It's not a huge difference, but when properties are priced correctly, they move quickly. When properties are not priced correctly, they're actually staying on the market longer, but they're not part of this statistic because they're not closing. In fact, in some instances, they're not selling at all. So let's turn our attention to prices. The good news is the prices keep rising significantly in Park City.
In Park City, limits, take a minute to absorb that, median price, up 24% to just under $1.9 million, up from $1.525 million. In Snyderville Basin, up 6% from $910,000 all the way up to $965,000.
Now, you got to take that in a little bit more. Up 24%. This is year over year. That's huge. And nothing to sneeze at, the 6% in the Snyderville Basin. I think they're feeling a little bit of resistance at the $1 million point.
I agree.
Kind of bouncing around. But again, 6% is great. Condominiums inside the city limits rose by 7%, with the median price climbing from $647,500 all the way to $690,000, and a healthy 14% increase in the Snyderville Basin for the condominiums, climbing from a median price of $425,600 all the way to $485,000.
Prices up in vacant lots as well in Park City, up 2% from $700,000 up to $712,500. And in Snyderville Basin, where the larger sampling area, up 9% from $412,000 all the way up to $450,000.
All right, so that's your real estate in review. We just want to remind you, we do this every couple webinars, that if you want to know what the market is doing in your particular neighborhood, it's very easy to do it. You can obviously give us a call anytime you want, but you don't have to. You can simply go to viewparkcityrealestate.com and search by subdivisions. Let me just show it to you real quickly. Here's viewparkcityrealestate.com. On that main landing page, there's a number of selections, and this one right here says search by subdivisions. You can simply type into this field either your subdivision name, or if it's a condominium, your condominium name. Click on find and it would take you right to that. Or we've put into some groupings here per the multiple listing service, and we've done the work for you already. I'll just stop at Park Meadows. If you click on that, the website will take you to the special page on Park Meadows, and when you get to that page, this is what you're going to see. You get some information on Park Meadows, then you have a choice. You can watch the most recent webinar on specifically Park Meadows. You click the green button. That's all you need to do. If you want to know current sales data in Park Meadows, you can click on that and we'll send that to you. But if you go down a little lower, you simply will start seeing the properties in the Park Meadows area. So in the same fashion, if you go to search subdivision and you put in your specific condominium name, you'll go right to those. If there's nothing shows up, means nothing's on the market. But it's very easy to do. The same fashion is if you want to find out what your property is worth in today's marketplace from our main landing page. Try to get here real quick. There we go. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll get to this section, learn what your property is worth today's market. Fill in a couple of the blanks here. Won't take you but less than a minute. And when you get to this selection here, you choose this first one. Contact me now for a free property value assessment. We'll reach out to you after you click the green button. We won't do anything until you click the green button. But we'll contact you and make arrangements to see your property and give you that information. There's no cost or obligation, just good information anytime you want it. So that's how you find out about current sales in your neighborhood. That's how you find out what your property is worth, whether it's a home or a condominium or a lot. We're happy to give you this free property value assessment. Now let's turn our attention to Park City has gone electric in a big way. And we're hearing across the country about battery operated transportation. It certainly is the wave of the future. There's electric skateboard. I was mountain biking yesterday, had to slow down for a hoverboard, also electric. But we certainly will find ourselves going to grocery stores and shopping, seeing cars getting front row parking spaces and plugging in, and buses and everything. So it's becoming very common. And Park City is very much ahead of the game in this. Two new favorite means of public transportation in Park City are the buses and the bikes. And so we want to tell you about it, but what's driving it is zero emissions.
Park City has the first free battery electric express route in the entire country.
We're always leading the way. What can I say? I'd like to take personal responsibility. I did vote, and we should mention here that the reason why 6 buses were purchased by Summit County were people who live here voted for a tax increase. We wanted it, and we also took advantage of a $3.9 million federal grant, so we're not stupid either. But that's why it happened, and that's why we have the Electric Express. That's what it's known for.
Yep. These buses go back and forth from historic Main Street and the Kimball Junction, running every 10 minutes from 7 a.m. till midnight, 7 days a week, and they operate for just 19 cents per mile. I think that's pretty fantastic.
That's really great. The buses are faster, they're more efficient than those diesel fuel buses, which we still have, mind you, but these are the express that go from those 2 key destinations. The buses do not make noise, which of course improves the quality of our life here in the mountains. And especially if you compare with the older buses that are still running that have that traditional diesel.
Indeed.
This is part of Park City's commitment to innovation and finding solutions to air quality. We like to be ahead of the game, and we're happy that our community is behind that. These buses are often referred to as the Cadillac of buses. They are made of carbon fiber and advanced composite materials, and they are expected to outlast those older buses because of the harsh conditions that Park City has. And get this, they're equipped with Wi-Fi and USB port so you can charge your phone. Just don't leave it on there when you get off.
That's a good idea.
It's the lap of luxury, our electric buses, so by all means check them out. It's really interesting when they charge overnight. They just sort of sit under a little dome and get electrified.
Electrified.
Well, it doesn't stop there, because Park City has now the nation's first fully electric bike share program.
That's right. Just this month, Park City launched the first fully electric bike share program in the entire country again. 88 new pedal-assisted bikes are available to be used at 9 charging stations throughout Park City and the Snyderville Basin. These bikes have lithium batteries that assist the pedaling, making it easier to conquer many of the hills around town. As Ron and I were joking, if you've ridden a bike in Park City, you know there's a few hills.
Hey, I've ridden my mountain bike, and I'd like a little electricity.
I would too. That's my time or two. But anyway, the battery helps spin those pedals, making each rotation of the pedals a bit easier. They have a top speed of about 14 miles per hour, and they can go 60 miles between charges.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
I talked to one person, they said it's kind of like you have your cruise control, and if you hit a hill where it sort of takes over on your car cruise control, well, it just does it, and it makes it easier to pedal.
That's great.
This is part of Park City's efforts to provide viable travel alternatives for our residents and our visitors. Again, voted by our residents here. There are 850 bike share programs throughout the world, but this is the first one in the United States. And these electric bikes and buses are part of Park City's plans to have a net zero carbon footprint by 2022. And they mean business. We're really stepping it up, and glad to see our government officials leading the way here. With that in mind, let's give you some key details on how the program works.
So who can use the bikes? These e-bike systems are meant to be used by visitors and residents alike. They are a perfect option for running errands, commuting around town, recreation, especially for those of us who are too impatient to wait for those darn city electric buses.
Well, that means that if you don't need to charge your phone, you can take a bike instead. Still ride by electricity. One can use the bikes. They are available 24/7, so move over Uber. You got some competition. You can ride them for nightlife out on Main Street or any number of different places. They'll be in service until December, where instead of putting snow tires on, we're just putting them on hiatus until about March.
Where are the e-bike stations? They are starting with 88 e-bikes located at 9 stations. There's 4 in Kimball Junction, that's Kimball Junction Transit Center, New Park Plaza, Tanger Outlets, 1 at the Canyons Transit Center, and 1 in town by the Park City Library. Park Avenue Bike Station, Old Town Transit Center, and in the Prospector neighborhood. So they're scattered.
They're well spread
around.
out.
Additional stations will be added to the program in the future phases. You can pay for the bikes either at the kiosk or on at the bike station, or through the Summit Bike Share app.
And we're going to give you some details on that.
Yeah.
Question is, how much does this cost? Bike Share program offers 45-minute rides for $2. I think that's a good deal.
That's a pretty good deal.
And charges an additional $2 for each half an hour after that first 45-minute period. If you want to really take advantage of these vehicles, and I'm certainly seeing them everywhere. Weekly passes are available for $18. That's as much riding as you want. And if you're a resident or you really want to be a regular user, you may want to spring for the $90 annual pass, or if you want to just get a monthly pass, $30 there. So it's really nice to see it, and it also is reducing the congestion. People are getting out there and pedaling and getting a little assistance from a battery. Not
They're
bad.
being used, like Ron said. We're seeing them all over.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So let's tell you a bit about the app, the Summit Bike Share app. We're showing you right here the website, summitbikeshare.com, and you can get information either on your computer here or with the app. Let me just open up the actual website to make it a little easier for us to look at this. Take it all the way to the top here. Starts out with a map here, and you see the different locations. See the different locations of the stations, and all you have to do is hover over it, and it will tell you this is the Canyon Transit. This one is New Park Plaza. Here we are, Old Town Transit. If you then click on it, it will tell you there's 5 bikes available. There's 22 docks there. So that helps you plan your trip around town if you want to head all the way out to New Park Plaza. How many? There's 3 bikes there, 16 docks. So people are out there shopping and cruising
Obviously so.
and using
That's
it. 6 bikes at the Canyon Transit. And so it's very easy. Just move the map around, locate where you want to go, where you want to start from, or where you want to end up, unless it's a round trip. And away you go. You can also, on this website, let me get us out of the way to make this a little easier. You can become a member. You can get a card here and download the app, of course, and you get further details about how it works. And do take advantage of it. I plan to get on it. I haven't gotten on it yet. I have instructions. Get my mountain biking in first before you get to cruise down the street on the electric bike. But there's Doug. Not really. But it really is, it's a great addition to the town. Speaking of mountain biking, does this mean with these electric bikes we're going to stop mountain biking? No way.
Absolutely not.
This is Jeremy, my son, who often are on these webinars, and myself. He dragged me for 4.5 hours from Empire Pass, across all the way up to bottom of Jupiter to Shadow Lake, which was great. We took the picture there, and then we hadn't had enough torture. We went back. So this is me halfway through. I didn't look that good at the end of it. But mountain biking is great in Park City. And this is Doug recovering after quite a crash. First time out, right?
First time out. Yeah, that was great. It's good to be back on 2 wheels.
Yes, for sure. So it's not going to retire our mountain bikes. And for those who are diehard street bike people like Doug,
definitely not retiring my street bike anytime soon either.
Yep. So are they going to retire? The answer is no way.
way.
And by the way, if you're wondering, the electric bikes, even fancier mountain electric bikes, are not allowed on the resort trails in Park City. So, I kind of like it at times where it's tough to push and push and push. Would like that electricity, but you got to do it. It's got to be your legs. Anyway, hope you're enjoying Park City, and if you're not, come on out here during the summer. Enjoy the concerts, the hiking, the biking. Even go over to the Utah Sports Park, watch them flip through the air and land in a swimming pool. Anyway, if you have any questions, give Doug or I an email or a call, ron@thewilsteinteam.com.
Or, of course, Doug at thewilsteinteam.com.
And if you'd like us to call you, include your phone number, and we will give you a ring. And with that in mind, thank you for taking the time to watch this month's webinar.